So this is my Activity-3. I had a little bit of issues with this one. My first issue was during the step of installing the entity framework packages and persistence. I spelled package wrong, probably due to my keyboard double typing. Regrettably, it's been doing that, so very unfortunate. But fixed it, so continued on. My next error was during install entity framework API. I tried to do, the problem I found out was I tried to install SQLite before core, and obviously didn't work. So when I then I tried to install the correct one, so core and then SQL. It also didn't work, but at the end I realized I was not in the correct directory. So changed the directory, got in the correct one, and it worked. My most difficult error was during the migration step. I got an error that there was no DB context. I first found out that Microsoft was misspelled in the one that you're looking at, so I actually spelled it like SFOT or something crazy like that. Tried to run it again, still didn't work. Deleted the default CS class. I had forgotten to delete it. Tried to run it again, that didn't work. So I saved everything and then restarted VS Code, seeing if the typical IT turning it off and on again worked. That didn't work. So I restarted the entire project from the very beginning. I didn't have any particular issues during the rerun. Everything went pretty smoothly. I did end up adding some using statements in the data context, as you can see, using domain and using persistence. And in the... what did I do? In the startup, I also added using domain and persistence. Apparently, there is some kind of error about the DB context that it, for some reason, can't read it. Even after doing all this, it still didn't work. So, as a last-ditch effort, I restarted VS Code, saved everything, and it miraculously worked. I really genuinely don't know why, but apparently turning it off and on again worked. I wish I had a better solution for why it worked. After that, all of the steps went pretty smoothly. The folder, obviously, migrations folder created pretty easily, so no issues there. I was able to get program CS working. Again, no issues, and whoops, I spelled occurred wrong. The screenshots are very helpful, but again, following them and clicking on the light bulbs and making it use the specific, packages, the persistence, and Microsoft Entity Framework Core to solve pretty much any issues that I had. The database was generated, and I didn't quite get what we were doing, so he had us run the database, and I wasn't quite sure what it was doing, but after the final step where I clicked down here SQLite Explorer and there was no values, and then after the final step, which we did in Oh yeah, this was one of my attempts to fix things. So I have no idea if this package reference include Microsoft.Entity Framework Core Design did anything. It might have. So I'm still not 100% sure. Value, this was pretty simple. Simple getters and setters. This is the data context with the new values added. I did note that I did copy and paste these last 3 lines rather than type them out. Specifically in startup, back to my errors again, this data context gave me quite a bit of roughness. It wasn't until I started using persistence that a lot of them errors went away. So if the instructions are ever modified for some reason, that might be helpful to add. But I was able to figure it out myself, so maybe that's intentional. This app settings, like, things were missing from here, I noticed. Like this, all that was in here was logging. Like, there was no connection strings, no allowed host. And I noticed when I did the original that these things were there, so I'm not quite sure if the redo changed something and I just didn't notice it. But yeah, as you can see, the values are there now. And that's all I really have for Activity 3.